Four comedians are also real good friends, working on jokes, the fun never ends. They're asking each other, is this anything?
Like to roast me to death.
Are we
because
recording?
Of it.
I just started recording in the middle of his intro.
Instincts, Anthony.
When you heard, I did a dumb thing. Oh God!
I gotta get this shit.
Should we do a mic check before you tell us the dumb thing that you did?
I'm about to tweet it.
Make sure that we have for posterity us roasting you to death. I neglected to tell Kristin that we recorded in Eastern Standard Time at 2:30 p.m.
Nice.
Okay.
So I just sent her the link, and she was like, "Cool, I will see you at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time." And I was like, "Uh-oh." So I said, "Are you available now? This is totally my fault. But we recorded 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let me know." And she's like, "I'm in the car, but I'll be home in about 20 minutes." And so I said, okay, massive apologies on my part. I'm going to go check and make sure that's cool. Everybody's cool with that. So are we cool with a 20-minute delay on the episode today, guys?
I think that's how long it'll take for us to roast you. Yeah.
I have no time constraints. Does anybody
Rob?
else?
That's great. Could
Edie?
you draw Jarret looking like an idiot?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's not that hard. No,
Yeah, just regular? Just regular then?
Anthony, you good on time?
Clocks.
I'm good. Yeah, I got
I'm good.
Okay.
nowhere
I mean,
to be.
I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be more than 20 minutes because you probably gotta get set up and stuff. But
Yeah.
I seriously have no time constraints. So, do you guys want to reconvene, or you just want to hang out?
I'm
I'm
fine.
cool to hang.
To hang.
I've got a student at 5:30. That's my only upper limit time constraint.
Okay.
Just your
what do you teach?
I am in. I'm a tutor, so I do SET prep, ACT subjects, physics, chemistry, math, anything.
You
Yeah.
teach time zones. 'Cause I know a guy is interested.
I have a lead on a student for you.
If a train leaves New York at 2:30 and another train leaves California at 2:30,
This is
Pacific time.
actually
Sounds
100% accurate. I didn't get asked, but they put out a call for we're comedy club hosts for all the different shows, and one of the shows was Daniel Muggleton's in Australia, and they were like, all right, that's 9 p.m. Australia time, and I was like, that's probably like 4 p.m. America time. I don't know. It's fine, I'm sure. I'm not gonna check. It's so far away. I'm sure it's a reasonable time.
Wait, did they say
So funny.
Australia time? Is
Yeah.
that what they call it? There has to be
Exactly.
a,
It
like,
must-
It must span like 3 time zones. There's
Yeah,
no
it's the
way.
same size as America. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's probably multiple time zones there.
There
But
are.
yeah, I think I had to get up at 7 a.m. or something for that one.
Oh gosh.
I forget. That was unpleasant. But I was also like, well, this is what I get for being an idiot.
isn't it like 16 hours ahead or something like that?
Something like that.
Depends where you are, but yeah.
hmm
Melbourne,
So,
Melbourne is 16. Sydney's like 17 or something.
So yeah, Rob, I could really use that time zone class when you.
Yeah, Lydia,
get
out
it
of
set up.
curiosity, what was it that you were barfing at? The idea of taking the SATs or the idea of being tutored by someone for the SATs?
Was it Rob?
Was it me?
No, I hated the whole SAT experience. I probably needed a tutor, but I hated it so much that I decided not to get one or even put any sort of thought or energy towards doing well. So
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I just don't like being smart. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't imagine teaching students SAT prep. That just sounds like my worst nightmare.
It's so dumb. I took an SAT class, and like all the stuff they teach you, it has nothing to do with intelligence. It's literally like the answers get harder later in the test. So if you're between two answers and one of them seems like a much more difficult word, it's that one. Like that was the stuff. I was like, this is me knowing which is a harder word to understand. This is not me. It was just all like techniques like that, where it was like time management and stuff like that. It was so dumb.
And then they tell you, I think this is true. If wrong answers, you get more points taken off than if you leave it blank. Like
Yeah,
if you leave you're better off leaving it blank than guessing, right?
I don't know what it is. Rob would be able to tell you, but
No. I want to keep on hearing you and Anthony talk about it. I'm a professional tutor, and I've been doing it for several years.
well, what I think it is
Now listen to me.
no, but my point is that whatever it is that they're teaching you this is something that like should just be a handout that everybody gets,
Right.
and it should just say this is how the test works, so you know all of the things that are going to give you an advantage technique-wise and scoring-wise, so you understand all that stuff, and then the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Test
literally
technique?
just a test of how well you can prepare for the test. It's not even like your level of intelligence or how good you are in math or science or English. It's such BS.
I
Really,
liked
'cause-
test sneak. I thought you guys would like it.
Test.
We know you liked
hear
it. I heard it.
All right, so now that Brett and now that Brett and Anthony and Leedy have weighed in on this, I think we can change the subject.
I would love. I could. All right.
No, Rob. I mean, Jarret, you didn't go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, I didn't want to say anything because I got an 1190, and I didn't want to make it seem like I thought I was the expert. Just because my score was so high. So I was just like, I'm just gonna let these idiots handle this.
Jarret, they don't score out of 1200. That's Pacific scoring. Actually, out of 1600 on the East.
Oh, that explains why I had to go to community college. Here, your scores are pretty good, but you can only apply to schools on the West Coast because after the time change, this is pathetic.
You really got to work on your
Schools on the West Coast is like, all right, you're in. All right.
Oh, 1190. That's like what? 1800 New York time?
All right. So I want to agree with everything that you guys said. What's really
Except
weird-
it's wrong.
No. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong because there's like a sliver of it that's absolutely that. And when I worked at Kaplan, that was actually a lot more of the strategy and the drive was like the techniques and the little tricks in the trade type things. And when you buy a book, they'll do a lot of stuff, and it's really weird. The company I work at now doesn't focus on that at all, but the parents still believe that. They have it in their heads. So they'll call me and be like, all right, but you know how like the test works, right? And I'm like, it's not really about that. Like, yeah, but you know like some of the tricks. I'm like, God damn it, stop saying that. Like there's not tricks. There's stuff to learn, yes. And if you learn that stuff, you'll do better on the test. But what I will say is that if I had only 2 weeks, let's say, or 1 week to prep any one of you or any student before this test, I would 100% lead with the stuff that Brett's talking about, like for sure. I'd be like, okay, look, you're not gonna learn stuff that you don't know already, but I could at least probably bump your score up by like 50 points if you just like stop and think about how the test is actually arranged, because you're probably going to make mistakes that you just don't have to. And one of those is exactly what Brett's talking about on the math no calc section. There is 15 questions that are multiple choice, and then there's 5 questions that are short answer. And they do get harder. From 1 to 15, they get gradually harder, and then they get back to easy again, 1 through 5 for the short answers. So it gets up and up and up harder, and then it goes back to like 0 again, then it gets harder again. So one strategy that I always tell students, if they have timing issues, or if, like I said, we have 1 week to prepare before the test, would be to say, do the short answers first, because questions 16, 17, and 18 are a lot easier than questions 13, 14, and 15. But you'll never be able to guess 15 through 20 because they're short answer responses. You will be able to guess and have a 1 in 4 chance of getting right the earlier ones. And that's like one example of one, I'll call it trick or like little inside in knowledge of the test. That's the kind of stuff that I would teach somebody if like they had 48 hours to prepare for this dumb thing. But I'm always trying to tell parents, I'm like, that whole like secret inside knowledge, I'm like, that doesn't exist. It's going to be 6 hard months of like really learning everything that there is to learn for the test and then executing it quickly and well. And they're like, yeah, but like, what about the tricks? I'm like, stop it. What if I give you $100? I'm like, no, there's no tricks.
They talk to you the same way that my dad talks to a mechanic, where he's like, what if I pay you in cash? Is it the same price?
That's awesome.
This is slightly tangential, but it's the same thing that used to bug me about the health inspectors when they would come and grade your restaurant on cleanliness is, after having worked at like almost a dozen restaurants and bars, the score is not how clean your restaurant is. The score is how well can you pretend that this is how your restaurant works when the health inspector shows up.
Right.
Because every time the health inspector would show up, an alarm basically goes off through the restaurant. Mountains of food are thrown away. And at some restaurants, they were just like, service stops. They just go up to all of your tables and say, it's going to be an hour before your food comes out.
Wow.
Give them free wine, give them whatever you need to do. But we are not, no food is coming out of this restaurant for the next hour.
It's all going in the trash.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so the grade is not how clean your restaurant is. It's how well you can do the things that they want you to do that day.
Also, I will say my first job I ever got was, out of college, was selling sausage at Costco, like the sample people,
wow.
for a Dell sausage company. And you have to learn a lot of the food safety stuff, or at least I thought that you did in order to get the job, but turns out that you don't really have to learn it. But I did learn it because I thought I had to. And nobody follows, after also working at Trader Joe's, nobody follows food and safety. Like nothing is properly done by like the standards of food health and safety.
Apparently
Things are at the wrong temperatures. They're not gauged. You have to constantly gauge the temperature of certain types of meats and cheeses and stuff like that. And the fluctuation, it's like nobody's able to maintain it.
One of the jokes that I liked at my restaurant that I stand by from years ago was basically what Jarret's talking about. It's like, hey, these people are coming. So if you walk from DMO from the dishwasher over here, you gotta make sure you wash your hands. If you walk past that soap sink and you don't wash your hands, they're gonna dock us points. And I was like, all right. I was like, will they dock us points if it's clear that I've never washed my hands? I'm just like,
you take the soap and you throw it over your shoulder. And you're like, this
Start taking off your shirt.
yeah.
Is he in the sink?
Doesn't taste
like
good.
he's technically
Look.
doing it, but
Brushing your teeth.
Hey, Kristin Key.
Hey, I don't think that was 20 minutes.
no, not even close.
All right.
That liar.
Wonderful.
Yay!
Hey.
All right. Oh, 1 second.
Okay, we'll do it again.
We'll cheer again.
Once your audio's on.
Hold
There we go.
excitement.
Hey!
Hey guys, how's it going? Had to get my
Well, good to see you.
headphones on.
Thank you so much for being flexible and meeting up 3 hours before you thought we were going to be doing the show.
My God, yeah, I didn't realize we were on the East Coast, so I had to put on my East Coast beanie.
Oh, yeah.
You-
Are you in
correct.
Chicago?
Oh, it feels like it's so windy and weird.
You were late because you just got off from your job at the docks.
I was throwing fish. Wait, where am I now? Now I'm in Seattle.
Yeah.
My time zone's right.
There are docks in Chicago, right?
Sure.
Right? I'm guessing.
But not for the ocean.
No,
for
that
lake.
is true. For the lake docks.
Throwing fish at the lake in Chicago with the New York accent for some reason.
You're throwing them back into the water.
Not a
This lady knows
Not
what
a
she's doing. This is an East Coast lady.
They catch him in New York. I throw him back in Chicago. That's the circle of life.
I'm a marine biologist.
What a delight. Thanks so much for joining us on the show. I'm realizing now that every time somebody has asked a guest to be on the show, they have gotten credits to introduce them with, and I neglected to do that. So what do you like us to say about you?
Nobody needs to credit me. I have been on Bring the Funny, Last Comic Standing, and I host the weekly podcast, Kristin Knows Blank. Ding.
Wow, that was way better than if Jarret did it.
Can you turn off your notifications?
Ding.
So funny.
Well, thank you so much, Kristin. I'm a huge fan of yours. You're the best. You crack me up every time I've been on a show with you, and you're great. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Brett. I've become a huge fan of yours because we've done SDSC together a couple times, and I've really enjoyed working with you.
Yeah, likewise. What do you guys have going on between you?
Everybody
else
am
have
also a
Okay.
big fan
All right,
of you,
there we
Kristen,
go.
because
I love you.
Because you always make me laugh really hard whenever I'm on social distance.
Everybody go around.
Fewer experiences with Kristin. I only met her on election night show, I believe, and again, hilarious, made me laugh, and she was super funny.
That election night show was pretty fun, right, guys?
That was fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kristin, when you left, people were really upset. And they made it very, very well known that they would prefer for me to leave and you to stay.
That's
like in the comments,
wonderful.
they were like, "Why is she leaving? Why? If somebody has to leave, make it Brett."
That's not how it works,
Thanks.
people. You don't just get
that's
to
what you
kick out a
said.
comedian.
That's what you said when you left. You're like, all right, in, one out, so I gotta go. It's time for me to go. So
Yeah, but they believed that was the real.
Yeah, they
the
just
rule.
thought it was real.
And then they were like, "Well, if this is the rules, then we know how we're playing them."
Why can't Brett go
out.
to Kristin's doctor's appointment?
Which I didn't have anywhere to be, but I had just planned on, like, you know, you set stupid goals for you. Like, I'm going to pop on for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to bounce, you know, because it's election night, and I feel like I should be watching the news. And then after 2 hours, I was like, this seems like I'm taking up someone's spot. So I should just leave to let another comedian have some time. And so I can go, like, so I really felt like I overstayed my welcome, because I've been known to do that.
No,
No, everybody. People are
You
still
don't
talking
know
about
me.
it.
I used to live on people's couches for a little bit too long. Like,
I do love the idea of overstaying your welcome at a Zoom party. You're just like, hey. Cool.
All right, so we're going to close the laptop so we can visit everything.
just me and the host at the end. So, how long are you going to be here? Yeah.
Oh, you can bring the
Keep it
computer
open
over to
on
the
my
dishes.
account.
Bring the computer over to the dishes. We'll talk while you're doing the dishes.
People
That's a
keep
pretty
turning
painting
their,
right there. What is that? What is that? You turn the
People,
camera on.
people turn their video on and off just so that their video's not next to yours anymore.
I think I see a friend of mine in a different video window that I want to go hop over to.
Is that how you do that? You can move yourself on a screen by turning your video off?
Yes, but don't do that. Oh, wait, no, I guess we can do that because we're not having the names on it anymore, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't
just
want
in
to
the
say I
beginning,
did it.
but-
I think I did it.
You did it. But you were the last one, so you don't switch with anybody. Somebody
you just
else
stay
has
where
to
you
do
were.
it to switch with you. I think.
Yeah, you switched for me.
Hey, make me a
for
host.
me,
I'm gonna have some fun.
Oh, because I wasn't in gallery mode when she came in.
Oh, okay.
So
When are you in gallery mood?
Tuesdays at 7.
I'm really glad we're going to the Met today because those have been in a real gallery mood.
But it doesn't matter anymore because we're not putting the handles, right? So who
That's
cares?
We
right.
just at first, but then that's a perfect edit point for them to
Yeah.
go away.
Yeah.
You're not putting my handle?
No, we're putting your handle at first, and then throughout the episode.
Oh, right. That's true.
It'll
I'm
fade
changing
away
my
like
name
a
to
duck.
my handle then.
Your name
Don't
actually
you
won't
take
be on
my
there.
handle away.
You could also tell us because it doesn't record the handle.
Oh,
I don't-
okay.
Yeah,
I was
this is
gonna
not a
change it
Zoom
to
thing.
Don't take my handle.
But you can.
Okay.
You can say it,
We will
and you can also change it. if you
put
want.
your handle in the description and everywhere else. Oh, okay. Your
okay.
handle is "Don't take my handle."
That's right.
Oh, that's great. Don't
I
take-
like
It's only,
that.
since only we're seeing it, it's like one of those jokes that just doesn't work. No, I'm the Kristin Key. If you can see it right there, now you have to put a graphic there.
Throughout the whole
It's
episode.
right next to the spaceship over here.
That's right. Look at these boobs in Jarret's window. Oh,
Anthony's
okay.
penis.
That
What
made
are you doing? Get out of here, you. We don't want you.
Did you see Leedy get an idea? Anthony's penis. And Leedy's light bulb went off. And Leedy's doodling. And it's a penis.
And Anthony, if you could edit in that light bulb for Leedy.
Oh, yeah, the light bulb.
Described it perfectly. That was exactly my thought process. Boobs, penis, good to go.
This is especially fun because normally on the podcast version where people are listening, they miss out on all the sight gags. But now with the name thing that's not going to be there, even the people watching are going to miss out on the gags. So it's great.
Everyone's in the same boat. This is the way democracy is supposed to work.
I've had people complain about like they've asked on when I record an album, don't do anything that's physical because then people that are listening can't see and they won't know what you're doing. But I've listened to people's albums where they do an act out. I'm like, I know what they're doing. I'm not stupid. And I kind of like that. I'm like, oh, I'm using my imagination. And it's like I'm not the only person in the world that like can picture whatever. Like I don't know, Ellen throwing a frisbee or whatever it is, you know. It's like,
Always Ellen throwing a frisbee.
Love that bit.
I just like the idea of someone being like, "This movie is going to be terrible." I mean, people can't see what's going on, so you really shouldn't put it into these scribbles. How is anyone going to see it?
Holding up a book, everybody.
that was a book. That wasn't a movie at all.
It wasn't a book.
It was actually an act out of him holding a book. But I do think the comics that like are so physical, and they really are not writing heavy at all. I am always interested to see what those albums are like. If it's just like sneaker sounds, you know,
It's like
it's like an hour. Yeah.
I have referenced this on the podcast before, but upon reading Steve Martin's book, he had that exact problem. I mean, that guy did magic on stage, and he just wore funny hats, and he just did all this crazy stuff in the 70s. And so when he was recording his album, he got, sort of pushback, being like, is this going to work? I mean, so much of what you do, we can't see. But he came out with the album, and it was wildly, wildly popular. And it just had this effect of, like, you wanted to be there. You wanted to experience what everybody else was experiencing, because you got most of it, but you didn't get all of it. And so there was a magic to that. And and I agree with you, Kristin, that there's an imagination factor too. It's like, oh, I can only imagine what he's doing.
Yeah, and hearing the reaction
almost be funnier. Yeah, but I mean, it's not when you see it then in the video or live or whatever. You're like, oh my god, that's what he was doing. That's really funny. But in your head, you're like, I can kind of picture it. It's really funny. But yeah.
I had a joke go viral, but it was in a
brag
like a meme.
about it.
Wait, hold on, don't worry, I'll bring myself
It'd be funny
down.
if there was no story. It was just like,
Yeah, thanks guys.
You guys ready to start?
Yeah, let's get this show going. It was a meme format of it, so it was me performing and then just the words of the joke written, and I had broken it up into different blocks, so you got the delivery of it. But every once in a while, I would get a comment on it that somebody was like, I loved this joke, then I watched the video of the guy performing it, and I hated it.
It was better in my head.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so...
What did you do to that joke, Brett?
I
How
don't-
did you
I don't
ruin your
know.
own
Actually,
joke?
I got it enough times over the year that it kept resurfacing that I was like, it wasn't too often, but I was like, I got to figure out what these people think I'm delivering it like. And so I just started experimenting with different ways, and the joke did get better.
And then we cut to you doing the joke right there. Is that what it was?
right there.
A lot of people misuse the word chivalry. I looked up the code of chivalry. There's only one part in there about respecting women. The rest of it is medieval battle etiquette. So a week ago, I didn't hold the door open for a lady, and she was like, I guess chivalry's dead. So I challenged her to physical combat. Turns out I'm the better jouster. Chivalry is alive, but that woman is dead.
No, just the negative comments.
Cut to a
This is
real-
a hazing show.
I was like, the way that you changed the joke was to bring a big printout of the meme.
This guy's great.
Put it up, and people are like, that's
Man,
hysterical.
that delivery.
And then I'm like, thank you guys. And they're like, boo!
Bring back the
Sucks.
poster board.
Go back to the static images. All right, should we get this train or
Yeah.
doing,
Absolutely.
guys?
Honk,
Okay.
honk.
Our order this week is Jarret, Anthony, Kristin, Rob, Brett.
Yeah.
Nice.
I always go last when there's two guests.
The algorithm is not what do you call it? It's random, but that sometimes means that there are there are patterns.
Yeah. $50.
It's random, but it sometimes means that I fuck over Brett.
I used to be last almost every time.
Yeah, but that was at your request.
Oh, right. That's
No,
right.
his request was not to be first.
Yeah, but that's gonna, you know.
So
up
the algorithm
likelihood.
was like, well, if he doesn't like being first, he must love going last. All right.
Interesting.
You
Who
guys-
created the algorithm? What
Hmm?
do you just put names in a hat, or
There's
that's
a
called
machine.
algorithm?
It's a very complicated machine that it takes up about half of my apartment, and its only job is to randomize the order of when the comics go on the show.
Oh, I was gonna say you don't make it watch TV shows and stuff and give us hilarious scripts. Like I forced a bot to watch the 2020 election. Yeah.
Oh my god, I will totally make one.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Yeah, it creates the order from this show and also is QAnon. But most of the processing power goes to the order of this show. Almost nothing goes into QAnon.
I don't trust the order.
I want to recap.
This is the most racist order.
Skewed.
Hey, is Trump going on this one? That's weird.
Yeah, you got second place.
First up today is anybody who is fighting the secret cabal of Democratic pedophiles. Okay. All right, I have a very silly thing for us today.
Yay.
Okay. This is an idea that I came up with when I was in high school, but I think that there might be something here. So you guys let me know. I love doing comedy, but I would also really like to make movies. But I want to make a very specific kind of movie. I want to do shot-for-shot remakes, like they did a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho. Only I want my shot-for-shot remakes to be like a little different. Like I want to do a shot-for-shot remake of Die Hard, where everything is the same except for the lead, John McClane. I would cast as a 12-year-old boy, and the whole movie, he's got chocolate smudged all over his face. And everybody's reacting to him the exact same. He is still beating the shit out of terrorists, and it's only this little kid with chocolate all over his face. This could be a whole new genre of remake. Just replace the lead. We could reshoot Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and replace DiCaprio with a jelly donut. We could reshoot Air Bud, only replace the dog with a really good basketball player like Steph Curry.
You used to be such an alt comedian in high school.
If you just replaced Air Bud with Steph Curry and then still kept it as Air Bud, it would be really racist because people would be like, "Well, it's not in the rules that he can't play."
You know, I was worried that people would say that I was calling like Steph Curry a dog. And so I said a really good basketball player like Steph Curry instead of like replacing with Steph Curry.
Oh, okay.
But I even tried to circumvent that by looking up like famous white basketball players who I could put in there, and there were no names that rang a bell. So I'm just like, this is not.
Like, oh man. Only
Larry Bird? Yeah.
Larry Bird's old now. I guess Larry Bird would work. It's not like, you know.
Okay, there's
he was
no.
old when we
One
were-
of the
Oh,
people
and
you're
one's a
replacing is a
dog and
jelly
one's a bird.
donut.
Yeah.
Why can't it be an old basketball player?
Yeah.
Guys, come
Really
on.
good.
You're
Because the
reading
whole
the continuity
joke-
of this joke.
The whole joke is that it's Air Bud. Air Bud is a dog, so it's something that shouldn't be able to play basketball. So if we're going to do the reverse of that, it should be somebody that is 100% really good at basketball, who should be playing basketball like someone who's in the NBA right now. Someone
So
who is
the-
young and capable.
That does make sense. What if it was a French crawler? Or
Wait, I just want to get
Does
the.
that ruin the joke? Is that not?
Claire, maybe.
So the opposite of Leonardo DiCaprio is a jelly donut. By that logic.
No, that's different. The equation is different for that one.
Oh, okay. All right. I got it now.
Okay.
I do think
Married
it's
to
really
Air
funny.
Bud. It has to be Air Bud.
It doesn't have to be Air Bud. That's just an idea that I had.
I mean, could we? Because isn't it just like recasting movies with like, you know, something that would be, you know, a funny counterpart, like recasting The Godfather with like Marlon Brando is now an Angry Bird, or I mean, we had a jelly donut in the wings for a casting call a second ago. Who's going in your casting line?
What's the equation to get from The Godfather being to have it be a Angry Bird?
I don't know. It just popped into my. I thought we were just doing randoms.
I know. I love
It's
it.
an
I
alt
love it.
comic.
That is a
Don't have it.
perfectly logical conclusion, Kristen, based off of the way that Jarret presented this joke.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jarrett,
Just
I wanna
follow
give-
the breadcrumbs.
I want to give a legit
Breadcrumbs, which
criticism.
birds eat. Angry birds.
Wait,
Sorry, go
it's
ahead,
supposed to be an
Rob.
outdated reference. The Godfather's replaced by the dancing baby from Ally McBeal.
Ah, there you go.
Ooga chaka. Ooga chaka.
No,
I
so
love-
here's
I
what I'm
love
saying.
that
Here's what I'm
Groundbreaking
saying.
CGI at the
I
time.
really love that episode too.
The first one is funny because it's a child, and the what do you call it? The discord of seeing terrorists getting their ass kicked by a 12-year-old boy with chocolate over his face. The second one is just random, where it's just like, this is so weird, you know? The third one, it's like the premise of the movie needs to be completely negated, you know? So it's like, look who's talking, replacing the baby just with Bruce Willis. Does that make sense? So it's like the thing that's supposed to make this like a whole thing, like Rookie of the Year was like a little kid gets really good at baseball, you know? Just replace him with a really good baseball player.
I loved that movie.
It was a great movie. Yeah.
You guys want to watch Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. Just float it. Just float it.
Or the Bad News Bears, and you replace everybody on that team with like
bears, with real fucking bears. That would be bad news. That would be bad news for the other team because the Bears would just fuck them up. Is this a
That's
swearing
much better
show?
than what my idea was going to be.
That is better than
Which
your
was
whole
like
joke.
the Los
I know what your
Angeles
idea was going to be, Jarret.
Angels, you
It was
know,
going to be
the
bear
Yankees.
claws.
I don't think I've ever submitted a joke
It's
that
a
has
donut.
been made fun of this successfully.
I'm just imagining this guy.
Not helpful to the joke. It's just
It's
making
just
fun of the joke itself.
But also, I do like this joke. I think,
Me too, actually. I feel like we haven't gotten into it yet.
yeah.
We're still making fun of it.
Which is weird because it's been 30 minutes.
What is this show supposed to be? I thought it was just beat up on Jarret.
Only
I
when
want to
he
see
deserves it.
the casting call where it's just a room full of jelly donuts, and then there's like one chocolate cream donut, and he's just like, I don't think I'm getting this part. I don't...
Submit all ethnicities.
I don't know. This jelly-filled donut just has it. You know? Got star
So-
power.
I have a real critique of the joke.
And I have a real question.
We're not there yet.
I have a real question after Rob's.
Okay, Rob.
The thing that actually did get me off the track of the logic of the joke was when you spent so much time discussing the kid with the chocolate on his face, and then you said this could be a whole new genre, and I really just thought you meant this. I thought that pronoun was replacing the chocolate covered face kid. So I thought I was going to keep on getting the chocolate covered face kid.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
So that threw me off. So once you went to jelly donut, I was like, okay, I don't know what's happening in this joke. And then you went with the airbud thing. I was like, I think I get what's happening now. But that is what actually threw me off.
So if I reword that too, we could, instead of this, I could say replacing just the lead could be an entirely new genre of shot-for-shot remake.
I forgot I had the exact same experience as Rob, but I still like the joke. But yeah, when you said that, I thought we were going to get more of the kid with the chocolate. But my question was, so all of the movies are old, but you want the references to be current? Is that the logic?
I mean, I think that would work best for the joke, because if it's a shot-for-shot remake, it's something that's happening now. You wouldn't do a shot-for-shot remake of a movie that just came out. I mean, you could for the sake of the joke, I guess. But I think the movie needs to be something iconic, something that everybody has seen, and the references should be things that are current now, something that you would update a movie with, you know?
Except for the donut thing, which is just random.
Yeah, because donuts are universal.
I do like I like the premise. I want you to stick on Die Hard first and flesh that out a little bit more completely. But I want a justification as to why you're getting there. This wouldn't be it, because this would come off like a little bit. I don't know. It would give, I think, the wrong message. But for example, they remade Ghostbusters with all women because there's a huge wave of feminism that's going on culturally. So that may be something like that for the justification as to why it's a 12-year-old boy. Would help me get into the joke more, and then I want you to flesh it out with those examples. It justifies that absurdism of why he's being cast in there.
Okay, that's interesting. That
The
the
age
premise
of the
that
white male superhero is over, and so we're recasting John
it.
McCain as, and then you can fill in the blank with
John
something.
is the dead senator. I think you mean John McClane.
I was gonna let it go.
Remember Bob Dole from Die Hard? Bob Dole. Great guy, hey.
I like that you had the pen too. Really act out.
How do you, Bob Dole? Bob
It's a
Dole.
green pen.
Bob Dole.
It's a blue pen.
Oh, it's see-through.
Yeah.
Because of
it is.
the, I assumed it was green because of the green screen. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any confidence in this joke working on stage. There's just something about it where I'm
Not
like,
with that attitude.
the way that you guys were like, this is an alt joke. Like, it just doesn't feel like. I mean, maybe justification, the way that Brett and Kristin were talking about would help it, but in my mind, it's just like too silly for no reason. I mean, it's kind of the reason why I like it, but
That's why I like it too. I didn't mean that as
Yeah.
an insult. I mean, I'm very alt.
I will.
So I meant that as a.
I
as a
will
compliment.
happily try it once we are doing shows live again, but I would love it if you guys were like, you know, if you guys could help, if you guys thought that there was a way to use the idea in a more, I don't know, traditional stand-up way.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
had
said.
2 issues. With this. Yeah.
That's why I
About the
started
way-
that with Brett's suggestion.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
My 2 suggestions were the way in was a little. I didn't
Clunky.
understand. Yeah, I just didn't understand how we were getting there. But I like if you put in the more like a modern day reasoning for it. You know, like almost a serious. You know, this is where we are. This is where we should. You know, like Too Many White Men or whatever. You know, the Ghostbusters in.
Yeah, that's perfect.
The other thing was the 12-year-old boy with chocolate on his face. At 12, do we not know how to eat chocolate? I mean, I could see
Maybe
like
girls.
a 5 or 4 with chocolate all over his face, but it's like
true.
at 12, like
8?
what
Could it be 8?
happened to this kid? Have you
Is 8
never been
okay?
around a child? Go like, I feel like 6 maybe is like
Yeah.
the age for messy chocolate.
That's a good point. I
12,
think
it would
that-
be like the kid
Is
that's
6
hiding a boner, wouldn't it?
Is 6 too young?
He's got
Where
chocolate on
it's
his
not
boner.
even ambulatory.
He's a
you know what I
12-year-old
mean?
running around with chocolate on his boner.
I just got the fucking the chocolate bars. I got chocolate.
Don't
on
ask
my
where the
boner.
donut is.
You could recast American Pie that way.
But the pie's
Like
the
warm
hero.
chocolate pie.
American Pie, but it's Steph Curry is the pie. Very progressive.
Oh God.
They should do a remake of American Pie where they replace the pie with just a woman.
I think they have a lot of movies like that.
I've seen that one. It's like, that sounds like something I've seen recently.
There are entire websites dedicated to movies like this.
Now I'm picturing that scene where that comes up where one of the guys is like, "You want to know what it feels like? It's like fucking a woman."
And then he comes home and there's a warm, fresh out of the oven woman, and he's like, "Eh." And then
Also,
his dad comes home and sees him fucking the woman, and he's like, "Ah!" And he comes and he sits him down at the table, and he's like, "Well, just tell your mom we ate it."
Also, you're describing pretty much the first act of Weird Science until they don't really get to have sex with the woman.
Okay, all right. Any more?
We did not help you, but we are out of time. So-
That's okay. That's okay. Any more legitimate criticism or?
No, but I got a ton of roasts.
I think this joke is very fun, so I hope that
It
you
is.
don't take the
I like it as well.
The
Yeah.
ribbing too serious.
the ribbing is because it just put me in a good mood.
Ooh, we should recast the
Really
movie
fun
with
joke.
ribs.
That's what I like about the joke. I like the idea of you could recast anything
Got
with anything and make the movie better. So
flexibility.
that's
exactly.
to
Yeah.
me that's the premise. Is
Yeah.
the where are you going to go with this recast? Who are you going to put in there? It's a good
Yeah.
premise.
If you can think of, and maybe this is the linchpin here, if you can think of a movie that you were just like, holy, like, what are we doing? Why are we recasting this as this just for the sake of fill in the blank here? And maybe you can go from there. I don't know what that quintessential example would be for you.
Or almost like Back to the Future almost had Eric Stoltz instead of Michael J. Fox. If you had the what would it change if you had cast
right.
so and so instead of so and so. Like, what if Eric Stoltz had been, Marty McFly? What if a jelly donut had been driving Miss Daisy?
I like that framing
cool.
of it a lot.
Or if you frame it like maybe you're critiquing those websites or those what if articles, because you'll see a listicle every once in a while of like, did you know that so and so was supposed to be playing another part, like Nicolas Cage was actually up for the role of Superman, and
Everything.
That's really good justification. Yeah, I like that.
So you're like, who cares? Yeah, it would have been different. The movie would have been just different. Okay.
Is shot-for-shot remake enough of a thing still? Because I remember in the 90s when the Psycho shot-for-shot remake came out.
What a piece of
that was like a thing.
I think that might have been the last one that they did.
Exactly.
It did
so they're not
poorly.
If I say shot-for-shot remake, does that register even?
Well, maybe Leedy might be a better person to ask.
That's
true.
Part of this, the new generation.
Yeah, you're a newer generation.
The closest to a 12-year-old boy covered in chocolate.
Which, by the way, Leedy, I wasn't going to say anything, but
I just meant because she probably doesn't really remember the Psycho remake the way that we do.
Never even saw Psycho. I'm sorry.
When I say shot-for-shot remake, does that make sense to you, though? Does the idea make sense?
It makes sense to me, sure, but I can't think of a quintessential movie that was that for me, where I was like, why the fuck did you do that? The closest I can get is the fact that they're making Mean Girl the musical back into a movie, so it's going to be Mean Girl the musical the movie.
Oh yeah, you should see the producers. That same process of like, where did this start? It was like, it was a play, that was a movie, that was a musical based on the movie. Now it's a movie based on the musical. I'm like, will you stop? Just stop this.
I'm eating producers the TV dinner.
Okay, thanks so much for your feedback on that, guys, he said sarcastically.
We heard it, Jarret.
Now you know how I feel when I bring a weird joke in. At least we didn't have
that's
to.
a nightmare.
At least we didn't have to.
You feel this every week, Anthony? Jesus.
Yes.
Anthony, now you know how fun it is to not be that person.
It's awesome. But Jarret, you didn't even have to explain what you meant for the most part, except for the donut thing.
Anthony's like, I'm going to start writing normal jokes now that I know how.
I'm trying.
Okay, it is Anthony's turn.
All right.
What's the deal with the women, huh?
Feel like airplane food could be better, you know? I think there might be differences between men and women.
When you get engaged. Okay, no, this is... I don't know if this is one joke or it should be separate jokes, but here is what I have so far. I have multiple personalities, but they're all exactly the same. It's usually not even an issue, except for right now, because I'm in the middle of a legal battle. I'm suing myself for the exclusive movie rights to the story of my life. I'm worried I'm going to lose the case, though, because I'm representing myself. Is that relatable enough?
I would add at the end, and I don't have a good chance because we're all the same person and none of us are lawyers.
I kind of thought that was implied, that I'm not a lawyer, but I guess.
Are any of you jelly donuts?
We could be with a simple rewrite.
What's the top of this joke again?
Huh?
What's the top of the joke again?
Oh, the top. I have multiple personalities, but they're all exactly the same.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jared.
I like it a lot. I'm just trying to think of if there's a way to... The only thing that I thought was missing was the very beginning. I think there might be like a kernel there that could be...
Yeah, that was a separate... that was just a one-liner. And then I just had the idea of this legal battle over this movie rights to my life, and then I was like, I could probably squeeze that in there with this, and then make it kind of expand on it. But I don't know that it really is the same joke.
I think
there might be something missing.
It just needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. It needs one more element.
In between that first part and then the whole.
Once you say I have multiple personalities and they're all the same, that I need an example of how that works. That world needs to come to.
Okay. So they're all exactly the same, and I'm assuming they're all named Anthony.
I didn't even think about that.
Maybe.
That's a possibility. Because then the big question would be, so then how do you know that you have multiple personalities? And the idea that I had was maybe you just have a bad memory.
I like that.
You know? And
Oh,
so
okay.
you keep on forgetting things. You just assume that it's because one of your other personalities was, like activated during that time.
Okay, so that would be like a real world justification of this absurd concept.
Very good, Anthony.
Yeah. Because I was thinking it could be all the same name, just the way that George Foreman's sons are all named George Foreman.
Ooh,
They're not
maybe.
confused.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe you've self-diagnosed yourself with multiple personality disorder because your girlfriend was like, "Don't you remember you said you were going to take me to dinner tonight?" And you're like, "What? Oh God, that must have been another personality." That's what's going on, isn't it?
Just agreeing to stuff that I don't.
Yeah, every time you just forget something, you're like, it must be another multiple personality, I'm sure. Who's exactly like me and likes taking you out to dinner. But I just don't know.
I don't know if you ever saw that that show where I can't even remember the name of the actress. She's amazing. It was like a Showtime show where a woman.
United States of Terror.
Yes.
Yes, that was a great show.
But I did watch an episode, and I think it would be so funny to see like the transformation, like the ways that they would always do it. Like you'd see like clothes go on the floor, and then you'd see some clothes go on, but it's just you, the same person. Like the rock and roll is playing, and it's just you again.
I take off my band T-shirt. I put on the same band T-shirt.
It'd be
My
funny if you
other
acted
Ramones
out.
T-shirt.
You acted out your multiple personalities. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm like the really angry Anthony, and I'm like, hey, I'm Anthony. And like sometimes I'm like a really happy Anthony. I'm like, hey, I'm Anthony. You know. And then when you say I'm suing myself for the rights to my life, it's like, and it sucks because the defense attorney is also my inner child, and they're like, hey, I'm Anthony.
That's it. Perfect. I love it.
That's great. And I have chocolate on my face.
And a donut on your boner. Ding.
Oh man, this whole episode, the runner is just going to be dunking on Jarret.
Dunking.
Dunking. Everybody drink.
He did it to himself. Oh shit!
Just
Everybody
like
drink.
Steph
Yeah,
Curry.
yeah.
Rob, do you have a really
I-
deep thought, or are you frozen?
No, I'm here. No,
Oh,
I love that the idea of doing the impression of each one of me, and it's basically the same. That's great. I didn't think of that at all.
I like the idea of you being slightly different. You know, like you put on a different band T-shirt. You're like, oh, I'm really into the Hives, and then you're like really into the Strokes. You're like, what?
But I also really like the Hives.
They're both great.
I do actually like both of those bands, so that works.
Also, I was thinking about because I agree with Brett 100%. Where it's like I am this and I have that, and I need how that affects your life and what that changes for you. But then I also think that the wording itself is so short that we don't even get an opportunity to live with the reality that you have. So even if you just elongate your phrasing by saying like, you know, I have been suffering from multiple personality disorder or something like that, just a slightly longer phrasing just so I can mentally absorb it.
but it's really hard to tell
Yeah.
because they're all the same.
Exactly. That
Okay.
that to me feels like the rhythm and timbre of a joke, of a setup and punchline. Because right now, as Jarret kind of pointed out, I was like, whoa, what was the top of this thing? It happened immediately, and we didn't get to live in that space for.
I want to just an edit to what Brett said instead of what did you say?
But it's really hard to tell because
It's really hard to tell.
It's really
It took a
hard to
very
tell.
long time to diagnose
Oh.
Oh, because they're all
because all the
exactly.
personalities are very similar. Or the same.
But I think that opens up more questions for me because I'm like, then how was it diagnosed? Like what makes it? That brings me back to the original question. Like what makes it a multiple personality disorder?
Yeah.
Whereas if you say it's hard to tell, then it's like I accept the fact that it's happening, and it's just really difficult for most people to tell.
And there's no question about whether I'm going to get into how it was diagnosed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I think I have that problem a lot with the, trying to I'm always thinking about word economy. Right. Sometimes I think, in this case for you guys, it does a disservice to the concept of the joke.
Yeah.
So that's a better problem to have than too much fat.
Jarret.
Oh man.
We should have a score. Anthony, put a score up here for who's dunking on me the most.
I think that when you do have word economy, then it's all a matter of the delivery, because I still think audiences need a moment to live in the reality that you set up. So even with Stephen Wright, if he were to go, I went to a drive-in movie, I took a cab, at least we had a moment of like, oh, we get to see where he is. Oh, he's at the movie, driving wheel, maybe a friend or girlfriend in the car, and then he's in the cab. But we have a moment. So you just need to create that moment either through your delivery or through a different wording.
Now do it without the moment.
I went to a drive-in movie in a cab.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, and you're like, that's not
Example.
as funny.
Yeah.
That was without punctuation too. That was awesome. You took a lot out of that.
It's almost one word.
Yeah, I I don't think I have said this joke out loud, so I did not really think about the delivery at all when I just did it. But I'll keep it in mind.
Got some potential. Yeah, I like the idea of the act out of you. Yeah, I like the idea of where you imagine you having lots of yous, because lots of yous is funny, because one of you is funny, and if you picture many little yous, it gets funnier. Especially if they're all basically the same, but like one's just slightly hungrier. And like small, tiny differences,
Yeah.
By the way, it just sounded like Kristin was slipping into her East Coast character again when she was like, lots of use is funny.
Lots of yous is funny, yeah. Lots of he was getting a slice of pizza, yeah.
And I love everywhere you go with it too. I like the suing yourself. All that stuff's good. The representing, all that's great. So I know we didn't touch on that stuff as much, but I do like that. But once I get like a solid understanding of where that's going, then I think that's super funny.
Also, I wasn't even sure if those two things should be together. So, because I kind of feel like once it does get into that, I do like those. I feel like those are short enough and punchy enough. But for me, the problem is getting from that first line into the whole thing where I'm in this case or whatever. So
I have another suggestion. I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but the idea is basically that you had a show once, and right before you went on stage, one of your other personalities took over and crushed. Did really well.
And that was the difference?
Yeah, and you... Well, no, I think the expectation would be that, like, I'm not in control, so the show's going to be worse. But, like, what happens if your other personality did better?
Oh, yeah.
And then the booker is like, those were great jokes. Those were... And now I don't know what I did, or something like that. I don't know.
Because I won't tell me.
I like there's something to be with yourself, maybe something to do with like your self-loathing. So like before you used to just hate yourself, now there's all these other people to like to also hate. Or
I gotta split my self-esteem.
I have low self-esteem because I'd have to split it with these 6 other dudes.
So I bought 12 self-help books. A lot of help. Maybe you could be jealous of the fact that Edward Norton got to turn into Brad Pitt, but you just turned into you. Like, what the fuck, man? I thought this multiple personality thing was Brad Pitt.
Oh, man, that's good. I like that.
And as Liz Mealy would say, I am out of ideas.
Yeah. Well, that's all great stuff to consider. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, great.
Okay. All right. Next up is our guest, Kristin Key.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
I've got. Ooh, this is in a jumble, so we're gonna see how it all comes out. I It's slightly political, which I don't talk politics because I feel like my basic hair and persona is political enough for me. But I think everything right now is political, and I blame social media for it because I think that Facebook finds out who we are on the inside and just shows us more of that. And I don't know how they do it because, like, my wife is so woke. She's a white woman, but Facebook keeps advertising her black hair care products. And I don't know what I've done on the inside that Facebook keeps advertising me erotic wish products. But now there's Parler where people can go, and it's a place for people that did not like the constraints of Facebook. And Parler is a Southern word that means entryway to racism. Come to the parlor, take off your jacket. We say the N word. But on Parler, what people like about it is that they don't fact check anything, which I think is great because I know how to make a meme, and anything can be a fact on a meme. So I want to go on Parler and just start making memes that say things like, QAnon meeting, time and place will be revealed on Rachel Maddow tonight. Or like, turtlenecks are back, fact. Like, crocheted vests are patriotic. And then you just watch all these like really crazy people in crocheted vests and turtlenecks. Like, did you see Rachel Maddow last night? And you're like, I did that.
Oh, this is
That's
great.
where I am so far. That's
that.
the ball of, yeah.
There are so many leaps, and I really like each one of them. You know, it just keeps on out sillying itself, and that structure of joke is just so delightful to me. I just wanted to point out right away.
Yeah, it's great. The one thing that I thought of when you talk about going to Parler because it doesn't have the constraints of Facebook, I don't know if there's room for this, but it almost feels like part of that joke is we're all supposed to know that Facebook is becoming a haven of conservative misinformation.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm worried that that's maybe that's not common knowledge enough. I don't know.
Maybe put in there like the constraints of Facebook's. There could be a joke there. It's Facebook, like the Facebook rules, which just don't lie about an election result and don't threaten to kill anybody, and you get to stay. And people are like, bullshit, you know, something like that.
It's like if you say you want to kill a Democratic senator, there'll be a little icon on your post going like, oh.
But on Parler, it's like,
I will almost weirdly admit that I wasn't following the logic 100% because, in part, because of my own, like, you know, the way I kind of see the world. Like everybody has their ability to lie and bullshit. So when you were critiquing Facebook and the rules, I wasn't sure what you were meaning exactly. So when I heard Parler, and which I don't know what Parler is, I didn't know that it was for conservatives. Does that make sense?
oh yeah, you'll hear about it in the
Yeah.
it's happening.
I just
You'll
heard
hear about it
like
right
a couple
before
days
the
ago.
race war.
Yeah.
But I still feel like the explanation of it was a little weird. I am aware of the lies from conservatives, but they, in my opinion, don't have the singular stronghold on misinformation. So just there was just a piece of me that was like, I'm confused. What is the problem? So I don't know. Does that make any sense to anybody else? That I would just want to hear slight language that
Needs
would
to be clarified why people are leaving Facebook.
Right, that's all.
And not really
Right.
in a judgment way, but in facts. This is why people are leaving Facebook for Parler and what Parler is.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. For me personally, if Parler becomes more of a mainstay, and I totally get it, then fine. But I would like to know, it's apparent that conservatives specifically are leaving Facebook because, and then I'm ripe for the joke, which you just said,
Right.
which is like, yeah, apparently, you're not allowed to organize lynch mobs, and because they're going to delete your post. Facebook.
And I mean, I want to take
Yeah.
the like happy-go-lucky, try to appear non-judgmental in the fact presenting of it. It's just more like free speech, no fact checking. But within no fact checking, I think is a wealth of material that if you're not fact checking, you can really put anything out. And I thought maybe funnier facts would be better. Those were just the 3 that came up in the 20 minutes I had to jump on.
Those are great. I think
like
if you
them.
say at some point like no fact checking, that sounds really fun. That's enough of a segue to just get into Silly Town.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is probably not for the joke, but just interesting that the people who run Parler did not intend for it to be a place for the alt-right. And in fact, they have made overtures to everybody else, every other community, and say, would you guys please come use Parler? Because right now it is just the alt-rights, and that is not what we were trying to do. So even like a juggling group, like, do you guys love juggling? And you're not like trying to overthrow the government, the secret democratic cabal that runs the Jewish banks, you know? Like, do you just love juggling? Come on, then talk on Parler.
The turtlenecks are back. Fact just made me laugh.
Oh, that was
good.
yeah. That was my
I've been
favorite
waiting
one
for
as well.
that for years. I'm just like, come on. Mama thinks she looks good in a turtleneck.
But not too
Mama's
high
wife
because
disagrees.
then it's a mask.
That's funny. I'm writing that down.
I really like the idea of, and I mean the fact that we're already being silly. Like you say, tune into Rachel Maddow tonight for secret location of QAnon meeting, and you're like, but that one backfired on me because I don't know what she said that night, but there was a rather successful QAnon meeting. A lot of people showed up.
In
It'll be in
turtlenecks and
Detroit. Who knows?
What was the original the original beginning to the joke? What was it? That was like a little clunky for me on why you're getting to the like. I feel like the beginning of the joke was more of a targeted Facebook ad.
Oh yeah, that
joke.
was just like they're 2 separate jokes, and I tried to smash them together. But but Facebook does keep trying to sell my wife black hair care products because she is so woke.
That's hilarious, but I think you can get into that way quicker.
Okay.
I think Facebook tells you by what it's trying to sell you who you are inside. For example,
Yeah.
is like that. You can get into that because the part about the non-political and I forget exactly how you said it. It was just a little bit
Just
of
cut it.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit of confusion for me there.
Are erotic wish products a phrasing that I'm unfamiliar with?
I'm familiar with it.
Okay.
Do you not get so okay? So
Brett's very familiar with it.
Oh yeah, I know. I posted about it.
Yeah, have you seen like there's that movie? Was it The Social Network? Or no, not that one. It's the
No,
one recently where it
Social
talks about
Dilemma.
Oh, the
Social
social
dilemma,
dilemma.
where
Yeah.
you trade your phone with someone else and see what's on their phone and your phone. And like
Mm-hmm.
my wife, it's just like hers is super like adult and like rational and she just gets like advertisements for grown up, and mine is like full of just like wish crotchless underwear, and I'm like,
There we go.
Why does Facebook think that I'm a old man pervert?
Crotchless
and-
underwear seems more visceral to me than even erotic wish product. But again, that was because I pieced it together. I know what it is.
I think, yeah, anybody who gets any kind of Wish products will like in their targeted ads will understand that, and I think a lot of people do. I'm trying to find this one I posted a couple weeks ago.
I guess I don't get them. I get black hair care products. I don't know.
Oh, so you and my wife would spend time together. These erotic wish products they're not subtle either. It's just like, would you like a Game of Thrones costume with a giant wiener? It's like, no.
But this is the one I got.
That's a more tasteful one. Yeah, that one's pretty tame.
Yeah, that is more tasteful. You're right. They're normally like crazy, but
He kind of looks like you. I could picture you in that now because
Wow, my caption
Similar
was
styling.
FYI. My birthday's in February.
Well, I'm going to get them now. Now that 15 years.
Well, now that we've all talked about it, it'll be in all of our Facebook.
Yeah.
Because it's listening.
The next time you're wearing, what is that, a crew neck? The way that it's...
Yeah.
Or the next time you're wearing one of those, it'd be, Brett, your crew neck is really well tucked into your shirt. It's not
Hey.
bunching up at all. How does that work? How did you
It's
do
not
that?
just tucked into my jeans. There's 2 crew necks on this crew neck.
They're like, come on, Brett, just untuck your shirt. Jeez. You're amongst
Loosen
family.
up, man.
All right, I
Office.
pulled out my pants.
unsnap it.
To wear that shirt untucked over your jeans. So good.
Yeah, I loved almost every turn in that joke, but turtleneck sweaters are back. That definitely did it for me. That was like, yeah,
Okay.
really got to me. It really
Oh,
tickled me.
There's just a lot of fat to trim off this one.
I had a question for you as well. It seems as if all of your facts were trying to turn these parlor people into people that they're not. Is that the only angle that you want to go, or do you want any of the facts to just be fun, silly, random, weird? Because it seems like they're maybe not all, but the crocheting, the turtlenecks, and the Rachel Maddow. It seems like you're trying to bend them to your will a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the ultimate goal of every example that you want, or do you want any examples?
No,
that don't
I kind of
to
want
that?
to play with it a little bit, and like, what would the joke look like with other facts in there? Like, what can you make people do with a meme? Like, if it's a fact, what would a fact cause you to run out and do? Or not you, but if your
Right.
facts are memes, and now they don't fact check. What could you make? What could you make of reality? And in my reality, it's funny to see people in crocheted vests and turtlenecks because it makes me happy.
I like that. Okay, so it's not some kind of like a political bending or
No, it's
even
more to, like,
fashion
it's-
bending.
Yeah, I'm like yarn bombing Republicans
Yeah,
through meme. Yeah.
that's great.
I like that yarn bombing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Ricky Gervais movie, The Invention of Lying, where everything he says, everyone believes. So he just, I didn't watch the end of it, but I think he becomes God at some point or something like that. Because he just.
Are you
everything
sure
he
it didn't
says-
switch over to Bruce Almighty?
That's what it was.
And then they're like fighting in Middle Earth, which I don't know how that. Kristen, I had an idea for if you wanted to say like, because Facebook is too they like they're not free speech enough. Like maybe you could also say like, and they found 4chan to be a little sexually conservative for their tastes.
Wait. They found what to be too sexually conservative?
4chan? Do you know about 4chan?
No.
4chan is another like alt-right website, and there is also a lot of porn on there. So
Okay.
That's
Well,
their-
I know what I'm doing later.
And that's when we lost her to the alt-right.
And that's why there's so much erotic Wish products in my phone.
I really like Rachel Maddow as an example, but what Rob said about things being like apolitical, where it's not that you're showing them like the opposite politics, but you're just like turning them into something they're not. Maybe
Right.
another thing would work, like just something that's so, like the movie Under the Tuscan Sun, instead of Rachel Maddow. It's just like there's a secret in Under the Tuscan Sun. Now,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I see what
make it completely apolitical, like
Yeah.
so it's not make it not triggery.
Because that's what it sounds like to me right now. That's
Yeah.
that was my point. Because I was like, if that's
Okay.
your goal, then keep going that direction. That's what it feels like to me. If that's not your goal, then there might be other crazier, sillier examples or whatever, so that nobody
Right.
thinks that that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to fuck with people's
Right,
lives.
right. It doesn't have to necessarily be. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
since it's free speech, I can say whatever I want, and it's a fact now.
Yeah.
What are some? What do I want
are
to say
some
as a
fun
fact?
facts?
Yeah.
And now all
All
these
breasts are in. Fact.
Now all these alt-right guys have to go to the video store and rent Under the Tuscan Sun, and
What a weird
know.
reference.
He loves obscure
Tuscan
movies.
Sun.
Guard kittens proven as more effective than guns in home self-defense. Fact.
Or you could debunk
Nothing,
things.
I like that.
Oh,
Nothing
debunk.
protects your home better than a cat.
You could debunk things too. You could have like a picture of Corey Feldman and be like, Corey Feldman, not true.
Debunk myths. There is no clitoris. Facts.
The liberals want you to think there's a clitoris.
but it's really Corey Feldman.
Reminds me of an ongoing bit that Brett's been doing online, which cracks me up every time. Where he puts a random picture of something and he says, the mainstream media won't report on this. And it's just a picture of him. It's a
Yeah, my
video
niece.
of him doing things.
I did it at I forgot to tell you guys. I did this at a show. and it went over really well. I just a few times throughout my set went, "Here's something the mainstream media won't show you." What they reporting on that, huh? What do they got to hide?
Oh man. Oh, you have to watch the video to get it.
Yep. But you can
Oh,
imagine.
that's funny. Yeah, nobody could see what he was doing.
Yeah. You just have to use your imagination. And
Yeah.
go
But
off
then
of
once
the
they
fun
watch,
we
they're
were
going to be like, that wasn't funny at all. I like the guy who was just the voice.
And the way, the way he delivered his body.
He's so much better in Word.
I think that
Great
is
notes,
excellent.
guys.
Thank you so much, Kristen. What a funny bit. I really enjoy that.
Yeah,
great.
I like that a lot.
Okay, bit number 2. No, I'm just kidding. Let's just go through my whole notebook. This is fun.
I wouldn't be
Okay.
opposed, actually, if you wanted to do
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, do you want to do another one? You're our guest. I mean, we'll absolutely, I can say with 100% certainty, we will have you back.
Okay,
But
yeah,
if
have
you
me
wanna just
back,
do
and
an-
then
okay,
I'll
let's do
bring
that.
back this other. This other one's kind of really stupid, so
Yeah. Okay.
may not. need to be
We'll
said
actually have you
otherwise.
back.
You could tell from my first joke, stupid is not a barrier to entry.
I
We'll have
enjoy it,
you-
Yeah.
We'll have you back in 2 hours when you thought you were supposed to.
I'll be back at 2:30 Pacific.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Jarret, I just also want to say I wish more of your jokes were like your first joke today.
Oh, fuck you, Anthony.
No, that was fun. That was.
I
like-
know.
Why are all my
joking.
compliments taken as
I'm just
insults?
joking. It's fine.
Oh, you're calling me alt. You're telling me, like, come on, man.
Put more turtlenecks in. Is all he's saying.
Yeah.
Your jokes.
Oh, I
need
really
more
like that
turtlenecks.
joke, Jared. It reminded me of my jokes. Oh, fuck you, man.
I can't see why Anthony took that as an insult.
It didn't even remind me of one of my jokes. It's just the kind of joke I like to hear.
Sweet.
Oh,
Thank
fuck you.
that, man.
What a dick.
Every time you say it, a different person gets offended. No, it's not. I'm just saying, and suddenly Levy's like, "Go to hell."
It's just your multiple personalities that are also exactly like you most of the time.
That's the twist of the show: is that all of you, except for Anthony, are part of my brain.
We should reveal that in the last episode of
Oh,
this.
sorry, spoiler alert.
That's where those erratic wish products are coming from.
All right, next up we have Rob. But before we get to that, just want to remind everybody to subscribe to the show on YouTube, subscribe on whatever app you are listening to the podcast on, and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/ITApod. We got a lot of special Patreon exclusive episodes, high writing challenges on there, special Halloween episode is on there, and more content coming all the time. So patreon.com/ITApod. And now Rob Ryan.
Hey, thank you so much, Jarret. That was wonderful. Wonderful pitching.
Thanks.
All right, I've got a joke today. I've actually got a lot of tags for this joke, so I'm just going to keep on barreling through all these.
Can you tell us the punchline first?
No.
The first one?
Yeah, mix up the order. Mix it up so we don't know.
Do the tags
Like a
first.
Tarantino joke.
That's not my car.
Fine. One of the punchlines is, I mean, I don't know. Am I me wrong? All right, back to it.
I love it.
Okay, so let's bring it back. We'll Tarantino this. You know how people tell you their name nowadays, and then they also like to tell you their pronouns. Like, oh, I'm Bill. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm all for calling you she. But why are you conjugating for me? You think I'm stupid? Do you think I don't know how to pluralize her? I'm never going to be like, oh, my friend Billy showed up. She's over there. Oh, I just remembered. I need to give her her charger back. I mean, after all, it's not my charger. It's oh, shit. I never got the third pronoun. I don't know. I have never done that for people, right? Whenever I answer the phone and someone's like, is this Rob? I don't go, this is he, him. I mean, I don't know. Am I me wrong?
The tag better the first time.
Oh, shit. I thought you were just fucking with us. I didn't know that was actually a real... That's so good. I love that.
I don't know if this makes it better, but I thought of a shorter example where you could just say, she's got to get out of here at 2 so she can go back to his apartment.
Fuck. I mean,
Same thing, but I wanted to do it with them. Like she gave it to me. It is them's. Like make it real dumb, but like it's them's charger.
I love that. Them.
Okay, that's I really like that because them's is so stupid, and then it actually gives me, because right now I've been utilizing the absence of a word to hopefully laughter fills in. But if I have a word, then I think that's excellent. I wanted to add this into here. The only way I would accept it is if someone out there, Truly's pronouns were he, her, them. Then I could understand the clarification. And I'd be like, oh, jeez, this is really tough.
It depends on what I'm wearing.
Or what if someone's pronouns were his, her, mine? Just a very possessive person.
I love that too. That's like its own, own offshoot of the joke.
Rob, I desperately want... I saw a comic once doing a bit about every word that has a number in it, like everyone, for example.
Okay.
How he wanted to solve inflation by just increasing those numbers by 1. And so everyone would become every 2, and, I can't think of any other examples.
3 day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, I would love it if you wrote a couple of sentences about one person that went through all of that. All the ways that it can be confusing, where you're like, when it's possessive, it's his, but when it's a pronoun, it's her, but when it's, blah, blah, blah. Right. And then just like take the audience on the convoluted journey of changing it depending on the structure of the sentence.
If you do that, though, I feel like that would be best served as like one of those Dimitri Martin where you got the visual aid. If you're going to make it that convoluted, I think people will have to see it.
I don't know if I can keep it in my head, and I'm not sure exactly how it would end up, but I'm not against the taking that task. That sounds like that could be a fun little monologue to figure out.
Yeah, and it's one of those bits that it's funny if you go through it all, like without slipping up. Like, goddamn. It's like one of those where part of the joke is how well you have this thing memorized. Does that make sense?
Like a George Carlin stuff.
I'll show to you. I'll prove to you how committed I am to silly little things like that. I prepared a joke that was effectively like a monologue, where I was trying to describe how Eminem was able to rap so quickly in a portion of his song. But the entire explanation I was writing in iamb, so I was writing it in iambic rhyme. But I was masking the way I was saying it, so it didn't sound like I was actually doing it in iambic rhyme. And then when I repeated it the second time, I did it much faster because I actually had all the little foots in there as well. So so I'm all for just wasting time and doing something like that. It just never wound up working out great, so I stopped doing it. But I've done it on stage like maybe a dozen times to tepid responses.
It's my favorite thing ever.
One time, Rob and I were on the road in Detroit, and Rob started rapping Eminem in front of 8 Mile, and then he went to 9 Mile and started rapping faster. And he went up to like 10 Mile, and I have a great video of us just pulled over on the side of the road, and me filming Rob filming himself going like... It's so funny. It's like a chicken.
Because we were at like 32 Mile Road at that point. So I had to get very, very fast. And then we went to 6 Mile. I did slower. And I had a whole little clip of that. That was fun.
That's great.
But yes, Jarret, point is that, yeah, I think that if I could make that work right and it's silly enough, and then I think that would be really cool to pull off.
I like when you talked about possessive pronouns. I thought there's a gem there somewhere hidden in possessive pronouns, just because the word possessive is so funny. And like everybody has a pronoun on that, and like me, mine, like that being possessive, I think almost leaves room open for one more line there.
Okay.
You know who had really possessive pronouns? Gollum.
Yeah, something like that.
It's me,
I don't
my
have
precious.
a joke for that. All I have is
My name is Gollum. Me mine.
Me mine. Should be my mind. I guess.
I did have
My
one
mind.
note at the beginning. I think you said, Rob, in the beginning, my name is Bill. My pronouns are
Yeah.
she, her, hers.
Yeah.
I do think that juxtaposition of the name Bill with she, her, and I know that this is regressive of me, but I do find that's funny in itself, and it detracts from the rest of the joke.
I was actually going to ask you that, maybe not that it's, but is it distracting, confusing, or does it sound like I'm even being attacking, like I'm trying to make that the joke, because I'm not trying to at all. So yeah.
If you're being super progressive, and that's the point of it, I think it's, I guess you're getting that across. For me, as I'm saying, somebody who does just inherently find a traditionally male name with a traditionally female pronoun, enough of a contrast that it makes me laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
I found it funny, and that distracted me from the rest of the joke, which is great.
What use an androgynous name here?
Yeah, that works.
Pronouns would be important, like
Andy.
Chris, Andy,
Yeah.
Danny.
I can even say Billy, but because I guess part of the reasoning for choosing Bill is to say, like, here is a person with a male presenting name that is asking me to refer to her as she, her, hers. And I'm like, totally. Damn it, Brett. And I'm like, yeah, but do you think I couldn't put it together after you said she? Like, I know how to do the rest. Like, I don't need your help. So, but I was worried that it would be distracting. I really was. So I was like, oh, what's a good way? So I haven't solved that yet in my mind.
Smart, because I don't know, because I think you took me so many places that by the time you got that I wouldn't know how to pluralize. Then I really laughed because I was still thinking about, I wonder if Bill was supposed to be a her. And you caught me by surprise with that. So it did. It caught me off guard because I hadn't glossed over that first part. I was still kind of stuck on it. So maybe it does work that way.
And maybe it helps the joke if people don't know what side you're on right away, because they think that you're gonna say something shitty.
That's true.
That's a
and
good point.
then you just keep not.
It's a triggery topic.
Yeah. So people who want you to say something shitty, like, it's
Like me?
It's like Brett.
I don't think I would
kinda
mind
like playing with that.
Yeah, if I could take like the first 5 seconds and have people on edge being like, what the fuck are you gonna say?
Yeah.
And then I just go, no, I'm totally fine calling you she. It's just why do you gonna act like a moron?
Actually, that is a good point. It does help to the misdirect of, like, you think I can't conjugate? Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Good
And that's
point.
like you do that a lot, Rob, where you like with the thing about the dogs, the rescue dogs and all that. Like,
Yeah. Or we talked about this on an earlier episode where I had the armpit hair, and I was just like, girls have armpit hair now, which I do not like. Too hot, too sexy.
Too hot. So I like that. You keep them guessing.
Is there something like they think that you're going to get caught up, like maybe saying they think that I know how to conjugate. I'm not going to get caught up on the fact that your name is Bill and be like, she, her toolbox. Like whatever you associate with the word name Bill. Like, I don't know if maybe there's something in there, like what they actually thought once you've revealed what the joke is.
Right. Yeah, that's true. If I were to do that, I think I'd go with the thems, because
that's great.
that one.
Thems is
Oh,
really
Dems
funny.
is so good.
Yeah, because I don't
Maybe
want.
throwing in an it would be fun every once in a while.
And if
You do it with a longer bit.
if you're confused on someone's pronoun, just call them those people. They love it.
See, there we go. I'm a little nervous about the word it. It's a charged word. Right?
Yeah, I just thought about it.
It's
as
a
soon as I
little
said
weird
it.
to be
Yeah.
calling someone it at any point, because then I don't want to start going on the other side of that joke.
Oh, you
But
could do.
they identify as the clown from It.
Yeah, unless you're talking about Pennywise.
Yeah.
You should not
He identifies as it.
Pennywise,
Hi, my name is
it.
Pennywise. My preferred pronoun is it.
By the end of the movie, he transitioned into a spider.
That is so
Mwah.
Beautiful bit. Goals.
All yours, Rob.
All right, typing it now.
Great job, algorithm. What a great order today. I think you're going to find a wealth of punchlines from those people.
Is
Whenever
this a real suggestion, or are you trying to get me canceled? I'm not sure which.
I just want to see what'll happen. It's like voting for Trump.
Is this one of your mean things?
Yeah, just on Parlor. Fact.
Fact. Those people is going to work.
Awesome. Thank you guys so
Those
much.
people? Yeah, right. All right.
Amazing help. Thank you guys so much. You're amazing.
Great job, Rob.
Great
and
bit.
now,
That's a great
bad
bit.
cleanup. As per usual, every episode, it is Brett Druck.
All right, time to hear everybody's very tired notes. I feel like I don't know when my optimism should be. I should use my optimism. Like sometimes it's misplaced. Like a buddy of mine once told me that his grandfather had a stroke, and I was like, "Of good luck?" And he was like, "No, an actual stroke."
I love that. This feels like there will be 2 more examples. It feels like the second one will be better than the first, and then it feels like the third one's going to be a complete left field one. But
All right, give them to
yet
me.
to be written.
Okay,
You should write those jokes.
Once you said the second one's gonna be better than the first, I was like, all right, well, sounds good.
Can't wait to hear this. Because I do like this, but then it just feels like, oh, there's more, isn't there? And I want that.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more. But I like this concept.
But I guess our optimism was misplaced,
Good luck.
probably. Like, oh, surely.
Well, what would be the other? What would be another?
It would be
phrase
probably
like that?
another
Stroke of
another
good luck.
bad news that can be misplaced.
Yeah, turn of phrase.
Yeah, some other pun or turn of phrase. Dead, cancer,
AIDS.
Rob, the way you said it sounded like you had a list on your computer of just, this is for when you need to heighten the stakes of the joke.
9/11.
9/11, Hiroshima. I don't know. I'm not kind of coming
I lost my father on 9/11. Did you find him recently? I'm sure he's out there. You'll get him. I have. It turns out I have AIDS. Oh, that's great. You got people to help you?
Well, there's 2 right there.
I need one. Which one of those was better than the first one, Rob?
The AIDS one has been done a lot, so
Okay.
I wouldn't do the AIDS one.
Yeah, there's an entire South Park episode with that.
Ah.
And in the episode, they're actually beating a dead horse, literally. Because,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah.
Maybe you do something with like something tested positive for something, and you think that's a good thing. I guess that could be AIDS too.
Corona.
Yeah.
Somebody tested positive for corona. I'm like, you passed.
Way to go.
Who says you're not a good test taker?
You aced it.
You're great at tests.
I feel bad because this is just one avenue that I was thinking of, but by no means is it the only thoughts that there could be on this joke.
It doesn't have to just be diseases.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. This pandemic got me thinking about diseases nonstop.
Good luck.
Here are those tired notes. I could try a different joke.
Diagnosed.
Oh, wait.
Go
I
ahead.
got one. I got
Okay.
one.
All right. Here we go.
It's not, I mean, now it's too built up, but,
Jelly donut.
hey, what's the matter? Jessica's plane went down. Safely onto the runway?
But like it's because misplaced optimism. I think my girlfriend's finally gonna stop cheating on me. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah. She died.
I like how you think she's going to stop cheating on you.
Yeah.
Optimism. I think she might stop cheating on me. She died.
I mean, there's always a chance you go to the funeral. You know, it's Becky, come on! She didn't tell me she had a boyfriend.
So the other direction I could go with this is that you keep on doubling and tripling down on the stroke thing if you wanted to continue further. But I don't know what those jokes are either, unfortunately. But
Great
the idea of
notes, Rob. I gave you Gollum.
hold on. So my what was it? My dad had a stroke, and then you're like, "Of good luck," and then he tries to further explain it to you. No. He has there's a clot, in his brain, and then you misinterpret that again. No, and he keeps on trying to get more specific as far as what's happening. He's like, no, Brett, the left side of his face is nothing. He's like, so he's all right.
Yeah.
He's in the
So the right side's working pretty good.
Working pretty. Huh?
he's in the hospital right now. Your dad's a doctor? Wow. That's amazing.
Rob, did you say so he's all right?
I did, but it's
That's
an old
very
joke.
funny. I like that. I think it's great. Left side of his face doesn't work. So he's all right.
So he's all
Exclusively right.
That is an old joke, though. I've heard from
I didn't catch that either. It took me a second.
I didn't catch it either.
I still haven't caught it.
Yeah, if he's stroke, then you're like a dad's half full kind of guy. As long as we're sticking with strokes.
He has a clot in his brain. Too many ideas.
Yeah, so maybe that's more rich. We just stay on stroke, and you don't stop being an idiot when it comes to that.
Yeah. Is there a way where I could not be the idiot in this joke?
Well, this is a friend coming to you about his dad?
Yeah, but I mean, the joke really is the turn of phrase, a stroke of good luck. That's really what tickled me is the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't that make you an idiot? Or is that not?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, is there another way to broach this funny idea of this
I
is
see.
the expression, and then of good luck now changes it from something dark to something oblivious and really positive, but way off base.
Yeah.
Is there another way to frame that?
Brett, what do you think about this? My apartment's on fire. Lit.
They really do get lazy at the end.
Not lazy. Not lazy.
Okay. So how about now instead of we go from stroke to some other illness, and instead of stroke to more specific about the stroke, now we play on the word stroke. So not just a stroke of good luck, but maybe a stroke of genius, or
stroke of midnight.
Oh no, yeah, optimism in place. My dad had a stroke of good luck. No, in his brain, a stroke of genius.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Kind of.
You want to do your other one?
No.
I don't know why that one was tough. We couldn't even think of.
I think
Joking about
Rob
it.
nailed it at the very beginning, where he's like, this joke feels like there's other ones after it that are better, and then it's like, okay, well now in the moment we have to write better thing than Brett spent time with and made. Yeah, this is a hard one.
All right.
But I think that's a valid
put it on me.
structure note. It's just unfortunate we couldn't. But we kind of did. I think.
yeah,
it
Kristen
worked
came up with
well.
some
Yeah,
great
I
ones.
think that really does solve that. That's good.
But I guess what the question I was asking is there another way that I can frame this completely where I'm not the idiot? Because I do have problems with jokes where I am the imbecile. The audience won't go with me on it. So is there a way that I could have a friend who has this problem? It's hard to tell.
It could be.
It's hard to talk to him or something. Is there another way to
I
frame
have
it?
trouble with optimists.
Yeah, you find them annoying.
Why? Not everything is a good news day. Like, just start it like that. Like, the premise is I don't care for optimists, or I don't care for the always optimist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a Dane Cook joke like this years ago about he hates optimists, and he's like, even if it could actually have to do with half the face too. It was like, even if half of your face got destroyed in a tragic windmill accident, they'd be like, well, at least you still have this half of your face. You could be like a toll booth operator, right? And and that was like his bit. But that's all he did. I think he just did toll booth operator. That was his one punchline thing. So I love that, getting into the joke that way with the I have a tough time dealing with optimists because blah.
Not everything has a bright side, but they'll look for it, and then you go into your example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, guys. Kristen, is there anything that you want to promote?
All right.
Back to me.
Do you have anything to
Yeah.
I have a website. It's KristinKey.com. You can find all my social media there. And I also host a weekly podcast called Kristin Knows Blank, where I have a chit-chat and play a Mad Lib with an entertaining guest about a topic that they are an expert on.
Wow.
So
We'd be happy to
hopefully
be
I
a
will-
guest. Thank you.
I know I'm going to get each one of you in turn, because you know how podcast booking works. So each one of you will be hit up in the next coming months, especially if any of you has a passion for Christmas movies, because December I'm going to try to make Christmas movie month. So if anybody has a super favorite or is a big fan, I'm a big It's a
I know
Wonderful
one
Life
person
fan,
who's
so-
very interested in the movie Die Hard recast with a 12-year-old boy who's got chocolate on his face, and people refer to that as a Christmas movie.
Them's my promotions. Yeah, find me, follow me, subscribe to my podcast, and hopefully I'll see you on here again.
Yes, please. All right, now let's check out Leedy's Doodles. It's Leedy Doodle time, everybody.
Can we go ahead and feature her screen?
Oh, yeah. And this is another thing that you have to see to properly enjoy.
Oh, the poor people that are just listening. Catch up, guys. They're living in the past. Here is Brett in his weird little
The little onesie.
fully support this fashion choice.
What am I saying? I feel
Chocolate
like
on his face.
I came into the kitchen, you guys were all there, and I went, guys! You made breakfast without me?
Is that how you talk to your roommate?
Yeah.
And that's one of the like credits at the beginning where you're like, guys. And then here's, I'd like you to refer to me as
That's so
I
great.
tried to
That's
make
a
him
good one.
cute because he really scares me, genuinely.
That's great. And you did the remake version of
Yeah.
it. You did this.
My name is Gollum, and my pronouns are me and mine.
That's great.
Anyone can do the voice? Feel free. Go right ahead. I can.
Oh, man.
And
I
then,
love
is this Rob? Yes, this is he. His.
that. Oh, that's great.
Mainstream media won't show you.
Brett dancing.
Wonderful.
Anthony and a bunch of tiny Anthonys.
And one of them is different. One of them is the red shirt.
It's funny. Those are his inner children.
Then I have the die-hard 12-year-old boy.
Oh, God. That's the
So what?
movie poster.
That boy is too old. You're right. You're right. He should be younger.
He's got pubes.
He's got the sexy armpit hair.
That kid's been to second base, for sure.
Oh, God.
Here's the machine being set to fuck over Bruno.
It worked.
Here's the editing that you'll have to do to make these.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's so
Amazing.
good.
Awesome.
The
Wow.
rest of them are weird, but yours is just your handle, Kristin.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have Donut driving Miss Daisy. Donut alone. Donut in Sound of Music. Donut in It. Sorry, Donut in
E.T.
It's
E.T.
an acronym.
Oh,
And then I have
great.
the donut in the casting room. I'm probably not going to get this role. I have the censored donut on the dong.
The donut on a penis. Oh, they censored it.
My favorite thing about when I draw for Kristin shows is that she like recaps my drawings like in the most obvious way. She just states what they are and it makes me so happy.
Well, it's helpful for our listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, that way they know now.
Here's the dunking on Jarret's scorecard.
I'm in the lead.
Anthony, commanding lead.
Anthony is
killing
in the
it.
lead, only he has just been complimenting me, and I have been taking it as insult.
I just added a few more.
Oh, wow.
Real time.
So sad.
That's in real
Wow.
time.
And that's it.
Oh,
Yay!
awesome. Thank you, Lady.
Oh, my
Again,
That was
amazing.
awesome, lady. Thanks so much.
And people
Thanks
can
for
follow
having
you
me.
at
They can follow me at Art for My Heroes
and
on
in
Instagram.
your bio is your Teespring store where they can
Yes.
support. Have you figured out what the cause is yet?
No.
All right, they can support a cause.
I know there's a couple of podcasts that could use some money.
You can see me on Dry Bar Comedy every Tuesday on Mike Paramore's show and on SDSC and Ask Us Everything.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you again, both of you, so much for coming on and being such great guests.
Yeah, this was a great one.
Yeah. Anything else? Any closing statements?
I'm all good.
Just thank
Them's
you.
Good. Them's
Thank
good.
you. Patreon.com/ITApod. That's my closing statement.
All right.
We will see you guys next week, he said to the audience. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check back for more individual clips and full episodes every Monday, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to support the show and get access to special fan-only content, go to patreon.com/ITApod. That's ITApod, as in Is This Anything Podcast. Relevant links in the description. Take care.